What's up, gang? Sorry, 1 second. I was taking ooh, uh, uh, some supplements from a company I really enjoy. Um, oh, ooh, ooh. You hold them under the tongue. Oh, there we go. Hold them under the tongue, and away you go. But usually for clarity is why I take them. Mental clarity. Different an assortment of goods. I'm gonna try to set up an account through this company, and then I'll potentially be advertising for them on here. So that's something to look forward to. All the millions of people watching these. It's good stuff, though. It's a really good company. All the things I've been taking have completely changed my life. So definitely recommend. Oh, I was looking at time passages today, and around all of the kentrons, essentially, there is a lot of action. What is it? The Sun and Mercury are around the midheaven. Venus and Pluto are conjunct the ascendant currently, like right now. And then the Moon and Jupiter are close to the IC. And the Moon is going to shift into Cancer today at like 2:21 or something, which is rather interesting. Gemini Moon, some of the Gemini cards, like the Ten of Swords or the Eight of Swords or the Nine of Swords, all of the Gemini cards, I guess, as far as minor arcana go, are kind of indicative of like exhaustion, or perceived defeat. And then with the full moon there, I feel like that aspect, is being highlighted. But with the full moon in Cancer, that's kind of like ultimate resurrection of yourself. Hey, Chariot, Seven of Cups. Let's get two more. Do the bottom of the deck. Okay, yep, alright. And then bottom of the deck is 8, 10, 8, jeez. Don't have my glasses on. Temperance, Judgment, and then Knight of Cups at the bottom. Alright, so this is what we're working with. And I will, before I even break it down, it's like I spend too much time, I think, breaking down before I have all the cards pulled. So I'm trying to have shorter videos. I realize people don't have time to watch legacy videos, especially for someone they're not familiar with. So, okay. Knight of Swords, Prince of Swords. Prince of Swords is the knight in this deck, which is interesting. There's like princess and prince, and then there's knight, and then there's, oh, hey, Ace of Cups. Judgment. Good time for judgment calls, I guess. Yeah, and you know, I do not really follow a formula, so I'm just kind of establishing whatever seems to pop out of the cards, whatever they're asking for. One of Wands, Ace of Wands. Yo, got a lot of new beginnings or pure energy. That's cool. It's always good. Let's see if I can get one more for that bottom, for the Knight of Cups. See if it'll, yeah. Okay, so 3 of them. Dang. Okay, so yeah, I guess I'll do this. Cruelty on top, Knight of Wands, middle, Emperor for the Knight of Cups, and then on the bottom, you got Completion, 4 Wands. That's upright, I just don't have space. Alright, here we go. Yeah. Oh boy. Look at this. There's a bunch of cards. And then these last, like this section, look how red that is. And up here too. Lots of red. So, very interesting. So you get the moon here, which suggests, you know, the full moon, I would say. Potentially leading to illusions, 7 of Cups, or, you know, you kind of, let's see. It seems like there's a lot of choices, but see how they're all like different things? You know, so if you know what you want in this time, I've said before, it's definitely a good time to make decisions, but if you're like getting lost in the availability of choice, maybe right now is not a good time to start something. With the 10 of Wands being the header, with partnered with Cruelty, it's Mars, Gemini. See, there's that Gemini energy. Yeah, when there's a full moon in Gemini, it seems like over erratic nervous system is what I'm getting, and like over erratic hormones with full moon in Cancer wouldn't necessarily be any better, but specifically with Gemini, there's just a sensitivity there where, obviously implied in this card, it can turn to cruelty, like a superficiality that can lead to a willingness to irregard others and other people, maybe. And with the 10 of Wands being the last decan of Sagittarius, yeah, there's just a lot of room for supercharged, like, self-righteousness, maybe, or a sense of depletedness that leaves you on the defensive. And that Knight of Swords, yeah, I would say Knight of Swords is affecting mental proclivities, especially with the Gemini. Knight of Swords and Chariot isn't bad. It's like the Knight of Swords is pulling the Chariot. So, any air signs, which is wild correspondence, but Prince of Swords with that Seven of Cups. Maybe seeing yourself as not deserving. Oh, hello. Maybe seeing yourself as not deserving of, or feeling weak in your own mind, potentially. Prince of Swords, Seven of Cups, like this figure here is the Prince of Swords, and he's trying to cut through the thickets, but he's like, well, I forget what I'm here for. You know, do I want these gumballs or whatever? Or do I want this mushroom lady priest thing? You know, what am I here for? Or do I want this blue face? You know? And just kind of, yeah. Almost looks like self-struggle, this card does. Like, there's this guy either being pulled down or he's like containing them, and then there's the shattered glass effect all over the card. So it's really like inward competition with yourself, and one element trying to establish dominance over the other elements, and that leaving you like, well, is this actually me making this decision, or is it my, you know, am I unbalanced? And that's why there appears to be so many choices. Where's the illusion, or is it illusion? I'll do these, and then I'll do Knight of Wands last. Ace of Cups with Judgment. I would say that's really good for decision making. Like your judgment will be spot on. The judgment of this time will facilitate whatever desires you're bringing to the table. Whatever you truly want will be facilitated by this time of judgment. Ace of Wands, Temperance, that's also very good. You get this wand polarity here, which Judgment and Temperance, you need Judgment for Temperance. It's the whole idea. You gotta know when to stop pouring into the cup, you know. Ace of Wands, maybe a course of study or some kind of travel is what's needed. And with the Knight of Cups in reverse at the bottom, though, kind of like feeling spiritually stagnant. And I would say that this kind of highlighting of mental energies, Cruelty, Prince of Swords, Knight of Swords, there might be a big draw to being mentally active, which can pull you away from spiritual activity. Not that you can't even use intellect to find or come into contact with spirituality, but there's a whole different level of receptiveness and peace and equanimity that's involved when using intellect versus when using spirit, or when being intuitively led instead of rationally or intellectually led. Now this Knight of Wands sitting on top of all of that, to me, represents a time of action. You know, you've got these other fire cards. Oh, hey. The Emperor with the Knight of Cups. Yeah, so there's that feeling, maybe, I don't want to say self-righteous, but feeling established, feeling composed, feeling like you hold the world in your hands. You know, like an ego block, essentially, is causing, you know, a sense of spiritual stagnation. And with the Knight of Wands, I would say that right now is just a time of action, you know, which is facilitated by your temperance, which is facilitated by your judgment, which is discerning through the forest of, you know, illusionary choices, which is really emphasizing, yeah, that's interesting, really emphasizing the intellectual capacity that your mind has. Yeah. So it might be a time of exhaustion, and you might even be negative to yourself or others right now. But yeah, really, what I just laid out, the going this way around the cube. If you're able to use this full moon energy, you like using it means sifting through all of these choices and understand that, you know, they're not really choices, you know. You can basically eliminate all of them except for the one that you want, but it's just nice to have choice, I guess, is what I'm picking up. Like, it's an illusion of choice because you don't really want any of the things except for what you actually want. So, but with the Nine of Swords and with the Ten of Swords, or Ten of Wands, there can be a definite feel of burnout and, you know, maybe even giving up on what you want or giving up on your perception of reality. So that's why there's the illusion of choices abound. It's kind of like a form of self-cruelty. And then with the Emperor down here, it's like, yeah, you not wanting to shift, you not wanting to change, not wanting to be submissive to spirit, which causes stagnation. You know, instead of following the obvious choice, you're distracted by all of these because you're like, well, spirit doesn't know everything. Maybe I can figure it out. What if I take this blue face, or these gumballs, or this laurel wreath? You know, and all these substitutes for, you know, the actual spirit, the Holy Spirit. And then up here, we get completion. Four of Wands, Venus, Aries energy. Yeah, I would say that represents stability in action. In this context. So, yeah, I would say taking self-assured action. But not in like I'm king of the castle, you know, I'm the boss, and I make the rules. But also not completely giving over to the receptive quality is what's needed right now. Because I think, especially with a full moon, it's like now is not the time to be fully receptive. It's kind of deceptive, but like the activity of the moon, and even with the Knight of Wands, there's lots of potential and lots of movement, and it's not don't be receptive at all, but like okay. I'm just hearing like be receptive where you feel fixed and be decisive where you feel you have been open, you know? Like you know what you have been led to do, and then the things you feel like you already know and you don't even need to question whatsoever. I think it's time to question those and really, yeah, cut through. Yeah, I think the illusion is the self-assuredness. This is Scorpio energy. So yeah, again, a fixedness. Um, it's like resisting going along with what you should go along with. So if you feel fixed in an area, that's the area that needs to change. If you feel open in an area, that's the area to take action in, I would say. Yeah, so I hope this was of benefit. And yeah, Virgo and Keisto Andrew signing off.